guys, and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be working on some Valentine's minis for our tier tray decor. These are great to decorate your tier trays and will give you tons of Valentine's Day tier tray decor ideas. I'm starting off with these square planks that I picked up at our Dollarama. I think there's a pack of 4 or 5 for $3, I believe. And I'm just taping them up around with some painter's tape because I want to leave the edges raw wood. You can pick these up, I believe, in Dollar Tree as well. Our Dollar Tree doesn't always have all these fun things, so when they don't have that, most likely the Dollarama does. So I will usually pick up my things at Dollarama, even though they are a bit more money. The middle I will be painting with some white. You can use chalk paint. I am using, I think it's Cracker Barrel white chalk paint, and just give it a generous amount. You want it full coverage. You also don't want any of that wood to kind of bleed through or show through. So once I have given this a good coat, I let it fully dry before I move on to the next step. So once they are completely dry, I will take the tape immediately off because I don't want it to sit for too long, because it will have the pulling. I prefer sometimes just to leave it to take it off right after I painted, but these were just the way they were. I ended up leaving them on a little bit longer than I would have liked, but it did work out in my favor, so I was happy with that. So once I had removed, as you can see, it created a little bit of a border, which is what I was looking for. You could also paint the border a different color. Just don't forget to tape your lines, or you can stain it as well. I just went with the natural look. And then I took my water-based marker in red and I just wrote out "Be Mine." And on the other one, I will be writing out February 14th. I would love to know if you guys enjoy Valentine's Day DIYs. I don't typically go overboard with decorating for Valentine's. I used to with the daycare kids, but I'm not sure how much I will be actually decorating. I for sure will be doing some tier trays just because I do want to add a couple Valentine's touches, but going all out is most likely I won't be doing. I might spruce up a little bit in my rec room downstairs, just because that's where kind of it's a hustle and bustle for my kids, and maybe they'll find it fun, but they are old teenagers, and sometimes what I think it's fun, they don't think it's fun. So sometimes they think I'm just being weird and doing overboard stuff. So, but it is what it is. They just have to deal with their mother the way she is, right? So I am thickening up the lines here for the number 14. I wasn't overly happy with the way the numbers looked, but I did spruce them up a little bit, you'll see at the end, just to make them look a little bit nicer. But I think these little blocks will look great on the tray.
Hurt, someone did you wrong. I can see it in your eyes, it's like your fire is gone. Across your face, it is written across your face. If you wanna talk, I'm right here, not gonna leave your side. Just feel free to open up when the moment's right. Across your face, it is written across your face. If you wanna go out, we can go out. You can hide away just for one night. But if you wanna cry, just let it out. I'm by your side now. Just hold on a bit more, 'cause I know you only see the rain, not the rainbow. Deep down, I know you're strong. Give them hell, baby, prove them wrong. Just hold on a bit more, 'cause I know you only see the
For my next DIY, I have picked up this little sign. It's a shape of a cutting board from Dollarama, and I'm going to paint over it with the same white acrylic paint, and just making sure that none of those letters are showing through. Once that was painted the way I liked it, I let it completely dry before I started embellishing it. But while that was drying, I went ahead and painted some hearts that I will be adding to the board. For the red heart, I just used flag red in the acrylic paint, and I just used whatever I had left over from a different project on a brush. I didn't actually dip it in, and that gave me that almost rustic looking red on the heart. And the smaller heart I painted with the same white, but I wiped most of the paint off just to give me more of a vintage look. And then once my board was dry, I went ahead and started adding stuff to it. So I used some twine and wrapped it all the way around the board, and then I had glued the hearts to the twine.
I know it did you wrong, wish I could take your pain away, 'cause I hate seeing tears streaming down your face. I know you're strong, won't feel this way for long, no. If you wanna go out, we can go out. We can hide away just for one night. But if you wanna cry, just let it out. I'm by your side now. Just hold on.
For writing, I am going to be using a permanent marker and a thinner one, and then I'm going to go over it with a thicker one. Made my L a little long, so I just wanted to kind of erase it by adding a touch more paint to the L just to cover it up. Now at this point, I did find that the board was a little too bright, so I took some of my wood stain and just dry brushed it and wiped it off on it just to give it a bit of a more rustic look. Now I think that gave me the look that I was looking for. And now to finish it off, I'm going to add that little rope back to it that I took off at the beginning. And then I'm also going to add a little bow to the heart using the same twine. Now, the last two projects, which I have to say were my favorite, I am going to make little mini pillows. I love adding these little mini pillows to tier trays. I have done it for almost every season from last spring, and I just think they look so cute on the tier tray. So, the first one, I am using some of my leftover drop cloth that I had from other projects and just cutting out a heart. I have laid it double layered the cloth so that way I can cut out one heart, cut out both pieces at once. And then I'm going to flip it, both pieces inside out, just so I don't have that pencil markings. And I'm going to hot glue half of it, but I will be leaving about 5 millimeters from the edge, just so that way I want to have a little bit of an edge. You will see why towards the end. So once that was hot glued and had maybe half a minute time to cure, I will be adding some filling. Now, before I add the filling, I did remember that I wanted to add some pattern. So I'm going to take my water-based marker and just draw some lines to it using a ruler. I think this just gave a little bit more character to the pillow. And once I have finished doing that, I will be filling it in I'm actually just going to be adding some tissue papers because I'm all out of pillow fillers. You could you could also use actual Kleenex tissue paper. I'm using the gift wrapping tissue paper because I had tons left over from Christmas. I just want it to be a little puffy. I don't want to go overboard. And once I have as much in there as I want to, I'm just hot gluing the rest of it again the same way, a little bit away from the edge, so that way I have a little border. Be very careful. This does burn. So once it was all dried and exactly the way I wanted to add some sew lines, I guess. But my little really thin marker wasn't working, so I went to a little bit of a thicker one, which worked just as well. I think this just gave it even more of the rustic look, and I just love the way this turned out. Because I love these pillows so much, I went ahead and made another one. I am going to be using burlap and I'm going to make it touch bigger because I want to add another heart to it. So I wanted it to be a touch bigger. So I cut one out and then I'm going to be cutting another one. And a great way to cut out hearts is just by folding it in half, and that way you can get two equal sides of the heart. I'm sure everybody has known this. This is not a new discovery, but in case if you didn't, here's a little tip. So I did the exact same thing with the burlap as I did with the other a pillow with the drop cloth, by gluing the half first and then filling it and then gluing the rest of it. Just an FYI, because burlap is a little see-through, you might want to either use brown tissue paper or in my case I just used stuffed it with the pieces that I cut off, the little pieces. That way it wasn't showing through a different color. Just a little tip, because burlap is a little bit see-through, and if I put red in there you would see it. Now you might like that look, so go ahead and do that, or even white. Even black would look good, but if you don't want to, just try to stick with the similar color as the color of the burlap. So once I had it all stuffed, I hot glued the other side. And again, I'm not going overboard with the stuffing, just a little fluff is what I'm looking for. But to finish it off, I had a little bit of some of the checkered material left, fabric left from I got this at a thrift store, and I've made several pillows and all sorts of stuff. Used it for different DIYs at Christmas. For I think I even used it last year for Valentine's, and then I used it for Canada Day as well. And I still have a good piece of it left, and I use this to cut out the heart that I wanted to hot glue to the side of this pillow. And then I think this red looks really, really good with the burlap. I absolutely love the way that looks. It gives it that little bit of a vintage country look.
Give them hell, baby, prove them wrong. Just hold on a bit more, 'cause I know you only see the rain, not the rainbow. I know you'll get up again. Better stand up tall, I know you can be brave, 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 brave.
And again, I followed with the little lines all around it. Well, I hope you had enjoyed these DIYs. I definitely enjoyed making them. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. And if you're stopping by my channel for the very first time, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out any of my future uploads. So until next time, hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and thank you all so much for watching.